Alright, I guess we're gonna see how well this system works. I should be able to get over this no problem. It's a little short right here because it's wet right here, but you get off these end rows and back into it a little bit, it's, I don't know, about yay high. So it should go under the tractor fine. But first things first, my new orifices showed up, and I got all those put in, which surprised the hell out of me because I only ordered them yesterday at, I think it was about 11:30 when I ordered them. So the new orifices are in it, which should even my rates out through all the coulters. If they didn't show up today, I was half tempted to just wait and do this tomorrow, but they showed up, so it doesn't matter. And I cleaned out all the screens and all the check valves just to make sure none of them were plugged, but some of them had some shit in, or they all had some shit in them, but none of them were plugged yet. I should have enough in the tank to do this field, and then if everything goes well at this field, I'm gonna have Dad drop the tank at the next field, which will take care of the last fields that need to get over, like need to get over. Everything else, we shouldn't have any worries height-wise, so. But I gotta take care of this this tree limb that fell down, or tree, or whatever the hell it is. The chain's dull on my battery saw, so I couldn't use that, so I had to bring a small saw, but I'm curious to see after the wind we had if there's anything else further down the line. But this thing was here when I was spraying. Was that? No, I don't think that's poison anything. I hope not. Well, the battery saw wouldn't have cut this thing up anyhow. It's pretty decent size. But anyway, let me get this cleaned up and out of the way real quick, and then we'll get after it, hopefully. Okay, I quit cleaning up on that tree because I did some looking on the. It was bugging me, so I went and looked on my phone. I'm pretty sure that's poison oak that's growing on it, and I already brushed on my arms a little bit. I didn't get any on my hands, but And I'm sweating, so if I did get it on my arms, it's probably gonna run. So yeah, nah, I'll come over to 1600 and grapple, just grab the whole thing and shove it in a tree line and call it good. So let me make a round to get used to this thing and see how it's gonna act. Well, I guess we'll just set you here for a minute. Looking like third over is gonna get me about where I want to be. to get a good acre count off this field with the corn planter, because 2 years ago when I planted it for the first time, my acre counter didn't work, or the monitor just flat out wasn't working right. And then this year I was fighting that GPS buck, not counting acres. So we'll get it in 2 years. But satellite map puts it at about 8, so that's what we're going with for now. Seem to be using fertilizer a lot more even across all the knives, so that's good. I am going to bump the pump up a little bit more with those new orifices in there. I think it was using just a little bit light, but not too bad. So yeah, this thing really definitely keeps you on your damn toes. I thought you didn't look backwards running 1800. You surely do not look backwards running this thing. You just kind of trust that this is back here doing what it needs to be doing, and you just look straight ahead, because it doesn't take a whole lot of ink and you're running over corn. And I also found out, don't worry about what's going on here. You look at that Lincoln freaking hood ornament up there, and you point that on the center of the row, and you keep it on the center of the row, and the tractor stays on the center of the row. You try to watch the rows, you run corn over. So for about the first half of the field, it was really stressful, and then it wasn't too bad after that. But it doesn't knock down nearly as much corn in the turn, or when you're turning either. It's still a little hard on, like, if I planned around a corner, it's still a little hard, but I think that was more me trying to get used to steering than it was anything else. But as far as like turning on the ends to go back down your next set of rows, it doesn't knock down. It's actually kind of surprising. I figured it was going to knock down more, but it's really not that bad. But I gotta swing by my house on the way to the next field, so while I'm there, I'm going to go wash my arms off. I mean, it's probably too late since it's been probably an hour since I touched that tree, but better safe than sorry. All right, I'm gonna stop right here for the day. It's cooled off enough. The corn's starting to get stiff, and you go down through some of the low spots where it's pretty tall and it's snapping more, or it's starting to snap some off rather than bend it. So I'm gonna park it right here so I know where I left off. Dad's coming to get the nurse tank anyhow, and it won't take me long. Tomorrow's supposed to be even warmer than today, so if I can catch it in the heat of the day, this stuff will lay over like licorice. It'll be just fine. But tomorrow's supposed to be up in the 80s, I think. Today I don't even know if it broke 80 degrees. It was humid, but it wasn't 75. But I bet it's down into the 60s or 60s already, the way it feels. So we are going to call it right here for the night, and like I say, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. I got all the end rows on here, and I worked up from this point, and then the small field's done. The only issue I have with this thing is if you get it on a little slide hill, the cart, well, it's greasy enough out here that you get on a little bit of a side hill and the tractor starts to drift, and then you try to correct it, and then the rear end keeps pushing downhill, and then it pulls the cart over, and it does this. Now, that being said, not all of these are snapped off, so some of that corn might gooseneck and stand right back up, as long as it doesn't get run over more than once. So, I mean, some of it snapped off, but not all of it. The ones that aren't snapped off will probably try to keep growing, because corn's goofy like that. But these are obviously less than ideal conditions, as you can tell. But when the corn's this tall, you don't have any choice. And also, to make note of, is normally crop damage would be minimal, because you wouldn't normally your side dressing was knee high or less. You don't got the ground clearance issue and all that stuff. And then there's also some spots around here where the corn's leaning, probably because of some of that wind we had. and it's leaning over enough that just the lean is making it go underneath the tire. So we're working in less than ideal conditions here, but all in all, it's not doing too bad. So like I say, we'll pick up from here tomorrow. All right, we're back to applicating. Obviously, I'm gonna take the nurse tank and stage it at the field I'm gonna go to after where we left off last night, where I got to finish up. But before I do that, I'm gonna pump what's left of the tank into there because I couldn't fit it all last night. And I see that the beans today are finally starting to look more green than yellow, which is good. But I think that there's a 30-foot, my first pass down this end over the hill and around, and I haven't walked back to see how far down the back. It must have ran out or whatever, must have changed somewhere between that corner and here, because I don't see it down there. But something must have been hot in the booms on that first pass, and I don't know if that first 30 feet's coming back. They got it pretty bad. But anyhow, I'm also glad that I quit chopping on that tree last night, because I got away. There's one little spot of poison oak on my forearm right here. But other than that, and I think that's actually a mosquito bite. I thought for sure I was going to get it good, because right before I stopped and it made myself look up what I was actually cutting on, I had a branch brush me pretty darn good. I figured my whole arm was going to be. And then I am really paranoid about poison ivy, and even if I think I got into it, all of a sudden my body just starts imaginary itching, and I was a little bit of a nervous wreck last night because my face was itching, my arms were itching, but it was all just my mind playing tricks on me, luckily. So, but let me get this transferred, and we will go park this thing and see see how that field looks, and then go grab the 150 and get back after it. Man, I didn't even expect this corn to be this tall. I mean, it's a lot more manageable than where we're at. Well, heck, down here in the low spot though. Man, corn is just getting completely away from me. And this was planted a week and a half after I first got started, something like that. But anyhow, let's go back to where we're at, get that finished up before we even worry about this. Luckily it looks a little drier over here, but I guarantee you up there on top of the hill in the flat ground, it's not gonna be so dry. Okay, oh, I need a rag. There should be one in the toolbox. Check and see if she needs any oil. It's a little bit more bendy today. Yesterday I was good right up until the sun went down, and then once it dipped down behind them trees, that was all she wrote. Stay. Well, I'll be damned. She uncharacteristically didn't use any oil yesterday. Apparently when it's not working that hard, it ain't that big of a deal. So, get her warming up and we'll be ready to go. too of running this thing comes with a little bit more confidence. But found out actually both mirrors are adjusted right to where I can see the visi gauges in the mirror. So now I can actually watch them and kind of keep looking forward, and they're working just fine. Everything, those new orifices made all the difference, because now they run just, other than obviously the outside too, because those are half brakes, so the balls stay a little lower, but they just kind of bobble along and stay pretty much even. So I still think I'm gonna, I gotta pull the chart out and see flow rate and product weight and yada yada yada, and see if there's a better ball to put in there other than the stainless steel to get them to float a little bit higher, make them a little easier to see. But anyhow, on to the next field. Quick pit stop here. Wanted to stop and look at these beans because I sprayed these out of the same tank load the same day as Mom and Dad's. And these didn't. I mean, there's a little bit of speckling, but these look perfectly fine. Which makes me feel a little better, because that means that the one sprayed after this should look perfectly fine. I just still wish Mom and Dad's didn't look so bad. Because if you look at the spots in Mom and Dad's where I had that nozzle that was either plugged or whatever was going on with it, and you look at the beans in that row, because there's basically one row every X number of feet from every round, you look at Mom and Dad's field, that'd be canopied out already if I hadn't burnt the piss out of it. Well, these beans look pretty darn good. I hate beans. They are, I hate, I like cutting them. I just hate everything else about growing them. I hate planting them. I hate getting them out of the ground. I hate spraying them. I hate dealing with pests in them. I hate beans. When they look good, they're great. When you gotta stare at a shit show, you just want to throw up. I think every time I've filled this thing so far, I forgot to shut the valve off going to the pump, because this thing will have enough pressure to overcome the valves in the pump and just push all the way through. Actually, it'd be nice to put a check valve in it somewhere, so that the only way anything can get to the toolbar is if it gets sucked. That way, if it gets pressure from this side, it just shuts the check valve off. But anyhow, if I get this field knocked out today, I'll call it good. And then tomorrow we'll move on to the muck. But first things first, we got to get this one done. It's only 14 acres here, shouldn't take that long between this side and that side. Here, see how swampy it is down here in the mucky part. Alright, I got all the end rows worked off. I'm getting better. I didn't knock down nearly as much corn. I figured this thing's just going to take some practice. But since these are nice, long, straight, flat rows, I've been running in third over, just shy of full throttle. I want to try fourth direct and see how that works out. I got my new camera mount. So far, I'm liking it. Well, I'm gonna park it right here for the night. Mother Nature tells you when it's time to... Ooh, it cooled off quite a bit out here. Mother Nature tells you when it's time to quit. And it came on awful sudden like. But the 3-point cradle started snapping corn off, so ain't no sense in doing that kind of damage to it. We'll hit it again tomorrow. I'll just leave it right here so that I know where I left off, and ain't no sense of doing any more damage to get it to the end. Unfortunately, when the corn's this tall, you got to do it when it's hot outside, because if it's not hot out, the corn doesn't bend that great. It just, well, it just snaps off at the ground. But you get it up above 80 degrees or so, and shoot, you watch some of the videos of some of these old timers out, I mean, like old, like John Deere's A's and B's and Oliver 60s and 70s and stuff like that, like old videos of guys cultivating, and they'll be cultivating corn that's as tall as the tractor, and it just lays down and comes right back up. Of course, that's also when you used to only plant 20,000 an acre, and the stalks were the size of trees. So I am going to, I'll just have to remember to open that back up tomorrow. So, but it definitely, once you get used to it, it's really not a bad rig to run. Doing your end rows and the corners is where it's the roughest, but in straight line, or in, you know, open ground straight lines, it's really not bad at all, provided the cart decides to follow you like it wants, which out here I really haven't had any issues. Fourth over was way too fast. I ended up going fourth direct, a little over half throttle, and that was perfect. That was manageable. Everything worked out pretty good that way. So, and I probably only got 6 rounds left out here, but with knocking down that much corn, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So, and I'll have to have Helena bring me another 900 gallon tomorrow, because what do I got left? I got let's just say plus that times that, I need 1184 gallon. So let's figure 1200 gallons, so I'd need another 300, which I doubt I get finished. Well, I know I won't finish tomorrow, and it's supposed to rain Saturday, I think. Wonder how much is, we'll walk over and see how much is still in the nurse tank. And real quick, while we're walking over there, just a quick update. Anybody that remembers or was here for the other channel we talked about a few videos back, which I wasn't trying to start a war, I was just trying to make people aware that I knew, or I was aware of the channel's existence, and they didn't need to keep telling me about it. I don't think I represented said channel too terribly. I tried not to say anything too bad about it, but and I kind of wondered if somebody would show up, and sure enough, about a half hour ago, he and one of his, I'm assuming one of his subscribers, left comments on that video, and I don't know what I did to piss in his Cheerios. I don't even know who he is, never had a single interaction with him before in my life, but with the not gonna say derogatory, they weren't like bad, but they had the first comment that I've ever seen him leave on this channel. Let's just say the first one that he chose to leave, it pretty much tells me everything I need to know about him right off the bat. So And it's not pinned. I'm not telling anybody to go look for it. If you want to go look for it, you'll have to look, because like I say, it's not pinned. And if you do go looking for it, don't go leaving another comment and trying to start something. That's not why I'm saying this. It's just, this is the day in the life of being on YouTube, because people just can't be adults. And it's not the first time something like that's happened, and it won't be the last. It's not even the first time somebody from another quote-unquote Oliver channel. There's been 2 others that I know of. Maybe there's more that have gone around saying derogatory comments about me and my channel, but I've never said who they, actually up until right now, I've never even mentioned that to anybody that I knew what they were doing, because frankly, I really don't care. Like I say, I'm not trying to start a war. It's a free country. They can do what they want. If they want to act like a bunch of 16-year-old high school girls on Facebook bashing each other, that's completely up to them. I just want to be here doing my own thing. That's why I don't call myself an Oliver channel. I just am a farming channel that happens to farm with Olivers, and that's why I don't really try to only got about 40 gallon left in there. That's why I don't associate much with the quote-unquote Oliver community. I don't care about going to the shows or anything like that. It's like, if that's how you guys want to treat me online, then you ain't even worth my time. Especially people that I have never... I think one of the guys I've met for 5 minutes and had like a 2-sentence conversation with him, and the one other guy that I know of is... I've never met him or said anything to him in my life, so like I say, I don't know what I did to piss in his Cheerios either, but that makes 3, so that tells you how the Oliver community feels about me, which is why I don't really associate with them. But like I say, I'm not trying to start anything. This is just the day in the life of being on YouTube thing, so don't go trying to start anything on my behalf. Like I say, if you want to go look for the comment and read it, you can go look for it and read it. Just don't go starting anything. That's not what I'm trying to start here. Mostly just so that if you guys see other comments on other videos from said person or people from said person's channel, you don't go trying to start something, because if that's the way they want to act, let them act that way, and just don't give them the time of day. But anyhow, I'm gonna call Dad, have him come pick me up. Tomorrow's supposed to be warmer, but I also think it's supposed to... We still got rain chances tomorrow. Overcast and 83. The overcast could prove to be a problem, because corn usually tends to stay pretty tight when it's cloudy too. Hot and humid is the best time to be doing this, because that makes the corn nice and bendy. But at least if it's hot, and if we're supposed to get rain later that night, maybe the humidity will be up. But anyway, we should be able to at least get that done. I was not expecting to have a problem out here, but also wasn't expecting the corn to be this tall. And this is a different hybrid too. This should be 2299. This is different. This is the first of this hybrid we've applicated so far. Everything else, or no, this isn't 2299. That was the the 2335 is what I planted everywhere else. I don't know, I write this stuff down so I don't got to remember. Either way, this is the other early 100-day hybrid I planted. But if you go back in the video a little bit and look at what we were applicating earlier, if you look at that corn, leaves are a lot broader and they droop more, and the corn's greener, and it looks different. The leaves are skinnier, they're more erect, which is also why I think that this corn's a little tighter. But anyhow, I guess with that being said, I'm going to give Dad a call so he can give me a ride back to the house, and we will end this video here, and we will pick up on beginning the next video, finishing up over there, and hopefully finishing up over there, and hopefully heading down to the muck. That's my plan. Although I do need to walk back over there and throw the can back on the exhaust real quick. So Anyhow, with that being said, that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.